There is a strange kind of freedom that arises the moment you stop trying to control everything. When you stop clinging to the what-ifs and the fear of what might go wrong. Suddenly, life begins to move. Worry with all its noise is like a cage made of shadows. It traps you in a future that does not even exist, stealing away the calm and strength that already live within you. But when you begin to let go, when you choose to trust the rhythm of life instead of wrestling with it, something powerful happens. The current shifts. Life, in its quiet wisdom, begins to align with you, not because you forced it, but because you finally made space for it to flow. In this video, I am going to share 7 timeless Buddhist lessons, gentle, yet deeply powerful teachings that can help you step out of grip of worry and into the peace that is been quietly waiting for you all along. Lesson 1. Fear is a seed. Plant it and it grows. In Buddhist thought, the energy you carry within shapes the world you experience outside. Fear is not just a feeling, it is a lens. And the more you look through it, the more it distorts your reality. Here is the irony. When you fear something deeply, you often start living as if it is already happening. Without realizing it, you feed it. You give it life. Picture this: you're afraid of losing your job. That fear seeps into your actions. You hesitate, second guess, shrink. The anxiety clouds your thinking. You might even start to pull back. And slowly, unintentionally, you edge closer to the very outcome you were trying to avoid. It is the same in relationships. The fear of being left can make us cling, doubt, or overanalyze, and that tension can quietly push others away. It is not fate working against you. It is fear working within you. Buddhism teaches that the mind is like soil. It does not care what you plant. Whether you sow seeds of fear or seeds of calm, your mind will help them grow. But you are the gardener. You choose what takes root. This does not mean ignoring what is real or pretending everything is okay. It means gently shifting your focus from fear to presence. So when fear rises, pause, breathe, and ask yourself, is this thought helping me build peace, or is it feeding panic? You are not powerless. You are the creator of your inner landscape. And as your inner world shifts, your outer world begins to reflect that change. Let go of fear and watch how life begins to soften, open, and flow in ways you never imagined. Lesson 2. True strength is found in surrender. In today's world, we are often taught that strength comes from control. Control your time. Control your success. Control the outcome. Push harder. Plan more. Hold on tighter. But Buddhist wisdom offers something radically different and far more liberating. It teaches that real strength is not found in clenching tighter, but in learning to let go. Not giving up, but giving over. Releasing the illusion that we can shape every moment, every person, every outcome, through sheer force of will. Surrender, in the Buddhist sense, is not weakness. It is a sacred release. It is the quiet art of doing your part fully, mindfully, and then stepping back with trust. Trust in the flow of life. Trust in karma. Trust that what is meant to unfold will find its way. Imagine holding water in your palm. The tighter you squeeze, the faster it slips through your fingers. But with an open hand, the water rests gently, it stays. That is surrender. Not passive, not careless, just open. It is a quiet confidence that says, I have done what I can. Now I trust life to meet me where I am. And when we stop interfering, something beautiful happens. Our energy returns. Our minds become clear. We begin to notice the opportunities that anxiety once kept hidden. Support shows up from places we never expected. And life starts working with us, not against us. Buddhism teaches that surrender is not an end. It is a beginning. The beginning of true freedom. And in that freedom, you do not lose your power. You discover it. Lesson 3. Anxiety belongs to tomorrow. Peace belongs to now. Buddhist wisdom reminds us of something simple, yet often forgotten. Anxiety does not live in the present. It lies in the mind's projections. In what might happen, what could go wrong, what we are afraid is coming next. But none of that is real. It is just a story, a movie playing in the mind, set in a future that has not arrived. When you feel anxious, gently ask yourself, where is my mind right now? Chances are, it is already gone ahead, spinning scenarios, building outcomes, dragging you into a world of what-ifs and maybes. And while your mind is off in the future, you miss the only place life ever truly exists. Right here. This moment. This breath. This space. This is your home. And in this moment you are okay. You are breathing. You are grounded. You are enough. Buddhism calls this mindfulness, the gentle, steady act of returning to now. And each time you return, you loosen anxiety's grip. Because in the present, there is nothing chasing you. No imagined future to fear. Only this still, quiet second, where life is unfolding one breath at a time. The mind may roar, but the present moment whispers. And the more you listen, the more you realize, peace is not something you have to go find. It is already within you, beneath the noise, beneath the fear, waiting to be remembered. Lesson 4. The burden of imagined fears. So much of what weighs on our minds never actually happens. Buddhist wisdom offers a quiet, powerful reminder. Our biggest source of anxiety often is not reality. It is imagination. We worry. We stress. We lose sleep over scenarios that never come to pass. We carry fears like invisible stones in a backpack, hauling them through each day, even though most of them never unfold. Why is that? Because the human mind is like a storyteller that never stops. It writes endless what-ifs, painting vivid pictures of problems that do not exist, and maybe never will. It warns us of disasters, failures, heartbreaks, all of which live only in thought, not in the present moment. Think about it. How many times have you braced yourself for a difficult conversation, only for it to go surprisingly well? How often have you feared the worst, only to watch the situation quietly resolve itself? The storm rarely comes the way we imagine it. And more often than not, it does not come at all. That is the trap of worry. It distorts scale. It pulls distant fears so close that we start reacting to illusions, as if they were truths. But Buddhism teaches something simple and freeing. Just because a thought appears, does not mean it deserves your belief. The mind can create stories, but you do not have to live inside every one of them. So next time you find yourself spiraling into anxiety, pause, take a breath, and gently ask yourself, is this actually happening or is it just a thought? Most of the time, you will realize you have been fighting shadows, not substance. Freedom begins when we come back to this moment. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now, let those imagined fears soften. Let them go. What is real is often far gentler than what we fear. And when you stop living in the mind's predictions, life starts to feel lighter, clearer, and far more peaceful. Lesson 5. Control blocks faith. Here is a truth that is hard to accept, but deeply liberating. You cannot keep both hands on the wheel and still trust the road to carry you. Buddhist wisdom reminds us, control and faith are like two travelers, walking in opposite directions. The tighter you hold on, the further you drift from trust. And the deeper your trust, the more you are able to let go. Trying to micromanage every corner of your life is like quietly saying to the universe, I do not believe you will take care of me. It is subtle, but powerful. A fear that without your constant input, everything will fall apart. But ask yourself, has that control ever truly brought peace? Most of the time, the more we try to force outcomes, the more tangled we get in worry, tension, and fatigue. Control offers the illusion of safety, but it is often driven by silent panic. Faith, by contrast, is not passive, it is strong. It says, I have done what I can. Now I let go and trust what comes. It lets you act with intention, without being enslaved by the outcome. It welcomes uncertainty. It honors timing you cannot control, and outcomes you may not yet understand. Buddhism calls this the release of attachment. You still act. You still care. But you let go of the grip, the obsession with how everything must turn out. It is like planting a seed in the soil. You water it. You nurture it. But you do not yank it upward to make it grow faster. True growth takes time. It takes patience. It takes faith in unseen roots. Ask yourself gently, are you holding on so tightly that you have forgotten how to breathe? Are you forcing a future instead of trusting in life as quiet intelligence? Letting go is not giving up. It is showing up fully, and then allowing life to meet you in its own way. That is where faith begins, and with it peace. Lesson 6. Letting go is how you begin to grow. Worry has a quiet way of shrinking your world. It starts small. A few cautious thoughts, a bit of overplanning, a subtle fear of what might go wrong. You tell yourself you're just being careful. But slowly, that carefulness becomes a cage. You begin to shrink without even noticing. You shrink your goals because they feel too uncertain. You shrink your voice afraid of being judged. You shrink your heart because it feels safer not to risk being hurt. But worry does not protect you. It restricts you. It builds invisible walls, limiting how much you dream, how much you share, how deeply you love. Buddhism teaches that growth begins not by holding tighter, but by letting go. Letting go does not mean giving up. It means shifting your focus to what is truly yours. Your thoughts, your choices, your kindness, and releasing what was never meant to be carried so tightly. Picture this. You are standing in a river. The more you try to hold the water in your hands, the faster it slips through your fingers. But when you soften, when you float, the river carries you. That is the essence of surrender. The more you loosen your grip on fear, the more space you create within yourself for courage, for creativity, for joy. Letting go is expansive. It is bold. It draws you back into the present, where life is actually happening, not in the what-ifs, but in the right now. Ask yourself, how much energy do I spend each day worrying about things I cannot control? And what if that same energy was poured into creating, into connecting, into trusting? When you stop trying to force life into your own blueprint and start dancing with its rhythm, something beautiful happens. You begin to feel supported, not by effort or control, but by something deeper, the quiet wisdom of life itself. Letting go is not weakness. It is bravery. It is the strength to stop shrinking, and the courage to live with an open heart. Take a breath. Feel the weight lift. And remember, you do not have to hold it all. Freedom begins the moment you choose to let go. Lesson 7. Life begins to flow when you step aside. One of the most powerful yet often overlooked truths in Buddhist teaching is this. Life flows best when we stop trying to control every inch of it. The more we meddle, the more resistance we create. The tighter we grip, the more chaos we seem to invite. But when we learn to step back, not out of apathy, but out of trust, something remarkable begins to happen. Life starts to move on its own, with a rhythm far wiser than anything we could have planned. Yet this idea can feel deeply uncomfortable. From a young age, we're taught that control equals safety, that without constant managing, correcting, and effort, things will fall apart. So we interfere. We overanalyze conversations, anticipate problems that have not even surfaced, chase outcomes that are not ready yet. We insert ourselves into every detail, believing that, if we do not, we will lose our place, or fall behind. But that constant interference, it creates more friction than flow. It drains our energy, Mindfulness our clarity, and often leaves us burnt out, trying to manage what was never fully ours to manage in the first place. Buddhist wisdom offers another way, a softer, more spacious path. It teaches that by stepping aside, by loosening the grip, we make room for life to unfold with its own intelligence. Just as a river finds its course naturally through the landscape, your life can find its way forward if you stop damming it with fear and control. Think of the times you tried to force something, a job, a relationship, a decision, only to watch it fall apart. Now think of when you surrendered, took a breath, and let things unfold naturally, and how well they turned out. Your worry and need for control are like rocks thrown into a stream; they disturb the flow. When you remove the obstacles, the water runs smoothly again. Life works the same way. Interference does not make life safer. It makes it harder. So how do you practice this? Start with awareness. Notice when you are gripping too tightly, checking your phone again, replaying a conversation, pushing something to move faster than it is ready. Ask, what would happen if I loosened my grip? Non-interference does not mean apathy. You act where it is needed, but then you let go. You plant the seed, water it, and trust the timing. Pulling on it would not make it grow faster, it will only damage the roots. Your goals, relationships, your peace, they all need space to breathe. The more you try to possess them, the more they slip away. But when you allow space, they flourish naturally. And then the shift happens. Life begins to support you. The right people cross your path. Solutions appear without being forced. Your energy lifts. Your heart softens. Fear often drives our need to control, fear of failure, loss, not being enough. But life does not ask for perfection. It asks for trust. You do not have to direct every scene. Sometimes, you just need to play your part and let the story reveal itself. So pause. Think of one area where you have been interfering too much. Ask, what would letting go look like here, not out of laziness, but out of deep trust? When you release your grip, life has space to move. Synchronic ties appear. Grace enters. You feel carried, not by your effort, but by something bigger than yourself. Remember, what you cling to, you trap. What you surrender, you liberate. And what you stop interfering with begins to flourish. Let today be a new beginning. Release one worry, trust one unknown, and allow life to work with you, not against you. Conclusion. Life is not a battle to be fought. It is a rhythm to be danced with. The more you try to control, the more you miss the grace that comes when you trust. Buddhism does not ask you to abandon your responsibilities or stop caring. Instead, it invites you to release the weight that was never truly yours to carry. It asks you to soften your grip, let go of fear, and create space for life to unfold in its own mysterious and beautiful way. So as you move forward, remember, you do not need to have everything figured out. You do not need to fight the current. Your true power lies not in control, but in alignment. Take a deep breath. Trust the timing. Know that when you stop interfering, you step into a life of clarity, peace, and deeper purpose. Subscribe and awaken your mind with Wisdom Kingdom.